Hey everybody, and welcome to BingeBot, where we recap all the latest and greatest TV shows to help keep you in the loop. Today we're digging into Supacell, a Netflix original sci-fi series that follows a group of normal London civilians who unexpectedly develop superpowers, and then they must contend with the powerful people who wish to control their abilities for ill intent. Let's kick things off with Episode 1, Michael. In a prison-like facility, a woman tries to escape using her strange powers, but security kills her before she can. And then, they drag her body down the hall, past several more people locked in cells. Unaware of these events, delivery man Michael Lasaki Brown surprises his girlfriend, Dionne, with a new car. Then he goes about his work in South London, delivering a package to a woman named Shar and her sister Sabrina, who is a local nurse. Elsewhere in South London, Andre Simpson tries to make money to support his son AJ, but he loses his job when the DBS criminal background check reveals his criminal record. While he's talking with his friend John about what happened, Rodney "Rod" Cullen tries to sell them some weed, and when they refuse, Rod next approaches Michael, who also declines. After work, Michael heads to the hospital to visit his ailing mother, who is suffering from sickle cell disease. A woman named Victoria offers them a tour of the new special facility called the Health and Unity Center, which specializes in treating sickle cell disease.
We really do understand the burden of living with sickle cell, and we don't think that anyone should have to carry that burden alone.
While making deliveries the next day, Michael is confronted by a gang called the Tower Boys, and their leader Teo, better known as Taser, stabs him. Suddenly, Michael's eyes glow amber, and he finds himself mysteriously flashing back to moments before the stabbing.
Say, cool, G. You know the price, yeah?
Now with this knowledge from the recent past, he is able to safely escape and return home to Dionne. In another part of town, Rodney realizes that his car won't start, and he's going to lose one of his customers if he can't deliver his drugs. He attempts to catch the bus, but as he runs after it, his eyes flash amber and he starts moving at super speed. When he's finally able to stop, he realizes that he's run all the way to Edinburgh, Scotland. Meanwhile, Andre tries to withdraw some money from an ATM, but he realizes his bank account is empty. When he angrily punches the machine, his eyes also flash amber, and he winds up completely destroying it, although it spits out several banknotes, which Andre decides to take back to his apartment. That same day, Taser is taking care of his grandmother when she mentions his absent mother. He angrily tells her not to talk to him about his mom, who had abandoned him. But when they look over at a photo of Taser and his mother together, it is revealed that his mom is the same woman who was killed at that prison-like facility. That evening, Sabrina's boyfriend Kevin stands her up for a date, so she and her sister head to the house to investigate. Sabrina's upset to learn that Kevin has been cheating on her and turns to leave, but when Kevin attempts to follow her to talk, she turns around and accidentally throws him against the wall with newly revealed telekinetic abilities. When Friday comes, Michael finally gets the nerve up to propose to Dionne, and when they head home to celebrate, Michael's time travel powers unexpectedly activate once again. He finds himself on a deserted street where a group dressed in all black assembles. One by one, the figures use supernatural abilities and reveal themselves to be Rod, Taser, Andre, and Sabrina. Another figure also turns to face him, and Michael sees himself. This future version of Michael reveals that Dionne will soon die, and that Michael has to assemble the team of others with superpowers in order to prevent her death.
It's only a few months away. Means you can stop this. Means you can save her.
Episode 2, Taser. Back in their apartment, Dionne paces, frantically searching for Michael, who suddenly reappears in the middle of the room. Without a word, he rushes to grab a pen and piece of paper, writing down the names Taser, Andre, Sabrina, and Rod, as well as the date, July 9th, the date when Dionne will die. Meanwhile, Rod takes a trip back to London after his accidental trip to Edinburgh, and when he returns, he meets up with his friend Spud to talk about his new powers. However, Rod is temporarily unable to use his powers, and Spud doesn't believe him without any proof. It isn't until Spud leaves for work and Rod tries to stop a police officer from giving him a ticket that he's able to run at super speed once more. The following day, the Tower Boys are ambushed by their rivals, the Sixers. When the Sixers corner Taser, he turns invisible and uses this advantage to stab several gang members, including their leader, Chucky. He flees the scene on the back of his friend Screamer's bicycle, but a nearby security camera picks up the whole thing. In a secret office hidden away somewhere, two people are watching on. Back in his apartment, Michael suddenly recalls that the man who stabbed him was named Taser, one of the names from the list of the people with powers. Realizing that he has a place to start his search, Michael begins to form a plan. Along with the Tower Boys, Taser intends to leverage his powers to move in on the Sixers' turf now that Chucky is out of the way, so they recruit Tiny to reach out to his cousin Masher, who is a known drug supplier, to set up a deal. Later that day, Michael returns to Ashington Estate, the neighborhood where the Tower Boys live, and looks for Taser. He recognizes Toozy and Tiny and convinces Toozy to exchange numbers with him, but only if Michael pays. Right after they finish swapping contact info, several Sixers arrive with a gun. Toozy and Tiny manage to escape, but the Sixers corner Michael and shoot at him. Back at their apartment, Dionne wakes up and realizes that Michael isn't there, so she starts searching for him, but he suddenly appears in the middle of the room holding a single bullet. His ability to stop time and teleport has allowed him to escape the attack from the Sixers, but he is drained from using so much of his power, and he passes out. That night, Taser and the Tower Boys follow through on their plans to get some drugs from Masher. Unfortunately, he kicks them out of the car when they admit that they can't pay for the drugs up front. However, they leave the door open, and as Masher drives away, Taser appears in the backseat of their car, holding the drugs that he has just stolen from Masher by using his powers of invisibility. The next day, the Tower Boys celebrate their success, but Tiny is upset that they stole from his cousin. Taser pulls him aside to reassure him, but just as they rejoin the rest of the Tower Boys, Masher and his gang arrive. To everyone's surprise, the notorious gang leader Crazy, Taser's former mentor who is supposedly still in prison, has also come to visit. Episode 3. Sabrina. Crazy and his gang threaten to kill Tiny for setting up the scam sale, but Taser intervenes. He challenges Masher to a fistfight, and he wins. For a moment, the Tower Boys think that everything has turned out in their favor, but Crazy shoots Tiny while his back is turned. The next day, Dionne arrives at Taser's grandmother's apartment to ask her about her missing daughter, Kemi, the woman who was killed in the secret facility. Although she's initially hesitant, Taser's grandmother eventually reveals that Kemi left out of fear that someone was after her for being able to do things that humans shouldn't be able to do.
She left us. She said she was doing things humans should not be doing. And because of that, people are coming after her, and she didn't want us to be in danger.
Realizing that Michael isn't the only one with special powers, Dionne begins searching for information about people with yellow eyes. At her job as a nurse, Sabrina struggles to concentrate due to worrying about her newfound powers. After almost giving one of her patients a lethal dose of medication, she decides to leave work and returns home to her sister. Meanwhile, Michael and his mother tour the Health and Unity Sickle Cell Center that Victoria had told them about. While his mother thinks that the treatments there are far too expensive, Michael insists that she should start going there. Afterwards, Michael returns to the estate where he's finally able to talk to Taser. He warns him that people are going to come after them for their powers and that they should work together, but Taser straight up refuses and tells him to leave. Defeated, Michael returns to his friend Gabrielle's club, Onyx, where they form a plan to try and find Rodney by searching the area where he sells drugs. In his apartment, Rodney hits his head on a glass table while showing off his powers for Spud. However, before Spud can call an ambulance, Rodney's injuries heal themselves. The two of them discuss Rodney's powers, and Spud tells him to be more careful about using the powers in public, in case the government finds out and wants to start studying him. However, Rodney ignores this advice completely and starts using his super speed to make fast deliveries to his customers. But unbeknownst to him, mysterious agents are watching him through security cameras all around the city. After asking several people, Michael finally gets Spud's phone number and decides to text him, pretending that he wants to buy some drugs. Rod responds to the text and they head to a local park to meet, but before Michael can arrive, a hooded figure steps out from a strange portal and attacks Rodney. Michael arrives just in time though, pushing Rodney out of the way and teleporting him safely back to the Onyx Club. There, he pulls him safely into a back room and tries to plead with him that they need to start working together. Meanwhile, Sabrina and Shar are also headed to the Onyx Club, where Shar is supposed to meet up with Crazy, who she was dating before he went to prison. When Crazy doesn't show up, Shar hooks up with a guy named Kadeem instead. However, when Kadeem tries to force himself on Shar, Sabrina attacks him. He retaliates using special powers to fly at them, but Sabrina knocks him off course with her telekinesis. When she checks his pulse, she realizes with horror that he has died. The women run from the scene, but a device in Kadeem's hand beeps, alerting the watching agents that he's deceased. After reviewing security footage, they find out that Shar was with him just moments before he died. Episode 4. Andre. Despite Michael's attempts to convince him, Rodney is too suspicious about the timing of the attack in the park to trust him, and both men leave the club. Meanwhile, Sabrina and Shar also return home, and Sabrina prepares to turn herself into the police. However, when she arrives, she learns that there's no record of a murder at Onyx Club at all. She goes to investigate the crime scene herself, and sure enough, the body is gone and there is no police tape to indicate an ongoing investigation. That same day, Andre heads to One Below, a discount store, for a job interview. Now that a collection agency has taken the remaining money from the broken ATM, it's even more urgent that he lands a steady job so he can support his son. During the interview, Andre gives an honest answer when he's asked about why he doesn't stay at jobs for long, explaining how he came to have a criminal record. Shortly thereafter, Andre meets with his friend John, and he reveals that, despite his honesty, he didn't get the job. John suggests that Andre uses his powers to steal money from the local drug dealers, so they decide to scope out the place. This leads Andre to cancel plans with AJ, who meets up with Braggs, a drug dealer from Crazy's gang, instead. Across town, Michael has yet another plan for tracking down people with superpowers. Following Gabrielle's advice, he checks the names on the packages in his delivery van, looking for a potential match for Andre or Sabrina. Later that day, Crazy confronts Braggs about his falling sales. Braggs reveals that he's been losing customers to someone who's making faster deliveries, and they call Spud's number to set up a trap. Thinking he's about to make a great sale, Spud eagerly heads to Braggs while Rodney sleeps, recovering from overusing his powers. Around the same time, Michael arrives at Sabrina's house with a delivery. She and Shar were just about to leave for Crazy's trap house, and he convinces them to let him ride along so that he can talk to Sabrina about their powers together. Meanwhile, Andre and the Tower Boys, who are planning to hit Crazy back for shooting Tiny, are also preparing to head to the same exact location to enact their plan. Shar, Sabrina, and Michael arrive at the trap house, but before they can go in, Michael's mother calls him. Hearing that she's in the middle of a sickle cell attack, Michael teleports to her bedside. Shar and Sabrina head inside without him so Shar can buy drugs and look for Crazy. Meanwhile, Masher and Braggs are beating Spud for his role in taking away their customers, and getting worried about how long Spud's been gone, Rodney uses his powers to rush to the trap house and look for him. Around the same time, the Tower Boys break in looking for Crazy. They start shooting, causing Shar and Sabrina to flee. Rod and Andre also arrive on the scene, and soon everyone with powers winds up in the exact same room. They all stare at each other until Taser pulls out a gun and points it at Andre. Episode 5. Rodney. When Taser shoots his gun, Andre, Rodney, and Sabrina all use their powers to deflect the bullet, and then afterwards they flee the trap house. Back in the mysterious office, the agents receive a report that their targets have come into contact with one another, so they form a plan to keep a close eye on Rodney, hoping that he'll contact the other four. Unaware that he's being watched, Rodney goes to visit his mother in her nice suburban neighborhood. He tells her that Spud is in a coma and he begs to stay with her, but she refuses because her rich husband, Greg, would not approve. Meanwhile, Sabrina is surprised when a meeting with the head matron at her work is not a reprimand for leaving her shift early, but rather a promotion. Excited, she tries to call Shar to tell her the good news, but Shar is in bed with Crazy. When Shar gets upset that he wants to leave with two other women, Crazy strangles and threatens her. After he leaves, she grabs a knife from the kitchen and pursues him. That same day, Dionne meets the Johnsons at their restaurant to discuss their missing daughter, Jasmine, who she suspects may have special powers like Michael. They explain that Jasmine was taken because of her healing powers. They don't know who took her, but have received threats that Jasmine will be killed if they go to the police.
Why? Why did they take her?
I have sickle cell from a barn. What did Jasmine just... She touched me, and her eyes lit up. I know I'm not have sickle cell no more.
When Dionne returns home, she tries to talk to Michael about what she's learned while he tries to tell her what he knows about her death. But before they can finish the conversation, Rodney shows up, saying that he can help Michael find the others. Dionne overhears this and is upset that Michael lied to her about continuing his search, but he leaves with Rodney anyways, promising to tell her everything when he gets back. Rodney remembers where Andre's friend John works, so he and Michael are able to get Andre's number from him. And while waiting to hear from Andre, they head to the estate to look for Taser. However, Taser isn't there because he and the Tower Boys are at Crazy's mom's house, waiting to ambush him. But before they can, the police arrive, and Taser uses his invisibility powers to escape while the other Tower Boys are arrested. Meanwhile, Andre calls Michael and they make a plan to meet up, but none of them realize that the agents are watching on, determined to find out who is on the other end of the line. On his way to the meeting, Andre is attacked by a hooded figure and dragged into a portal, and when he doesn't arrive to meet with them, Michael and Rodney suspect the worst. They contact Sabrina, arriving at her house while she continues to search for Shar, who still hasn't returned home after chasing Crazy. Rodney and Michael reveal their fears about what's happened to Andre, and Sabrina asks about the boy with the gun. As Sabrina feared, Taser also gets attacked by men in hoods, and they attempt to pull him through a portal the same way they took Andre. But Sabrina and the others arrive just in time, and the four of them prepare to fight the hoods. Episode 6, Supacell. After a quick scuffle with the hoods, Michael successfully teleports everyone back to Sabrina's house safely to regroup. Exhausted from using their powers, they all fall asleep. Meanwhile, Dionne meets up with Mr. Johnson again, and he reveals that he knew more than he wanted to say in front of his wife, and she learns that he believes Jasmine is being held at the Ashington estate. When she isn't able to reach Michael, Dionne decides to head to the abandoned building on her own to investigate. At the facility, the leader Ray tells Andre that his powers are from something called Supercell, a genetic trait in people whose parents have sickle cell disease. Then he coerces Andre into helping him round up the others with powers on pain of hurting his son. Back at Sabrina's house, the others wake up and begin arguing about their next move. Sabrina is focused on finding her sister while Taser wants revenge on Crazy, but Michael, on the other hand, is preoccupied with Dionne's safety and teleports to meet with her at the Ashington estate. He finally reveals that the date he wrote down, July 9th, is the day that she will die.
July 9th. It's not the day I went to the future. It's the day. It's the day you die.
While they're talking, the figures in hoods break into Sabrina's house to search for her and the others, but they find it empty, with Taser already on his way to confront Crazy at A-Town. After Taser shares where Crazy will be, Sabrina and Rodney head there as well, planning to confront Crazy for information about Char's whereabouts. When Sabrina and Rodney arrive, they find Michael and Dionne already there, revealing that A-Town and the Ashington estate are the same exact place. They locate the secret entrance and find themselves on a rundown street full of people dealing drugs, including Andre's son AJ. Crazy arrives for his fight with Taser, but Sabrina attacks him first, and terrified of her powers, the other members of Crazy's gang run away. But before Sabrina can get any info from Crazy, Taser appears, ready to kill. An explosion interrupts the fight, and several hooded figures step out of portals. To everyone's surprise, Crazy teams up with them, revealing that he also has a power, the absorption of powers of others. A superpowered battle between the Hoods and Michael's team begins, and during the fight, Rodney uses his super speed to smash the special masks that the Hoods are wearing, revealing that Andre is one of them. Upon seeing the betrayal, Michael uses his powers to freeze the battle and tries to talk some sense into Andre, hoping that he can convince him to join their side.
But they threatened me. Yeah, they threatened me with my son.
Okay. Okay, I understand. So join me. Join us. And together we can stop them. We can put an end to this.
As soon as he releases his grip on time, the fight resumes, but when Crazy tries to kill Taser, Andre intervenes, and this time appears to turn the tides against the Hoods. Michael's team manages to defeat everyone except for Crazy, who says he has a special device in his pocket that will let them teleport to the facility where Char is being held. Rodney tries to steal the device by using his powers, but he falls into Crazy's trap, with Crazy stealing his speed powers and stabbing everyone. Using his own power, Michael rewinds time and stabs Crazy to prevent the ambush. Unfortunately, Crazy fires his gun as he collapses, and the bullet hits Dionne in the car nearby. Michael screams for help, but he can't use his powers again so soon, and Dionne dies in his arms.
Dionne! Ah!
A few days after the events, Andre, Rodney, Sabrina, Taser, and Michael all meet up in Gabrielle's club. Determined to seek revenge for Dionne's death, Michael plans to go back to the future to get information about who is behind the super hunting organization. Back at the facility, Jasmine is forced to heal Crazy by using her powers, and then Ray confronts him about his failures and tells him that the boss is here to see him. When the boss walks in, she's revealed to be none other than Victoria, the woman who helped transfer Michael's mother to the sickle cell center.
But next time, there's no way
Next time. You remember I took you out of prison. You remember I saved your life on multiple occasions. Now, Craig, what did I get in return?
And after coldly telling Crazy that he's failed her, she orders a guard to kill him. As Victoria and Ray get into the elevator to leave, she tells him that they're going to start doing things her way. And she looks down at her tablet, which shows a photo of Michael, indicating more trouble to come in his future. Well, that's it for Supacell Season 1. Will Michael and the rest of the team find their revenge and uncover the truth? I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see whenever Season 2 drops, huh? Hey, thanks for watching the entire video and for sticking around until the end. If you liked our video, consider sharing it with a friend or dropping us a like. And if you want more, subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to hit the notification bell while you're at it. You can also support us via YouTube memberships, Patreon, and Buy Me a Coffee for premium perks and early access to our content. Thanks again for checking out our recap. We'll be back with more soon, but until then, BingeBot is logging off.